We're at In-Chain Designs, where you're not only entered to win the 750 horsepower Saline Mustang, but also the Jeep Gladiator 6x6. Where you order anything that's behind me, that's on the website, in the description down below, anything on In-Chain Designs. We got cool Jeep shirts, whole section of Jeep shirts here on ISD, all of In-Chain Designs collection here. A bunch of Mopar stuff, Chevy, Ford, whatever you want, In-Chain Designs has it. One of our best sellers coming back in the Bro Tank, Secure by Air 15. Love this shirt. Also, sticking with the Second Amendment theme, we have the AR Come and Take It shirt, one of my favorites. So we got a bit of a special video for you guys today because I have the ZR2, but I'm also here at my father's where we have his GMC 1500. And then lo and behold, something else in the garage here, which just looks like a regular 1500 Silverado, a newer one, obviously. You can tell just by what we have here, but obviously from the title and the thumbnail, you guys know that my father has acquired the U-Haul truck. Mike, Streetspeed 717, as always, hooking up family just because he's a great guy. He gives more than he gets, if you guys can believe it. He's super selfless. My father is retired. He is a master mechanic, and Mike was like, you know what, man, if you can make something work with this, I have no use for it, and if I can't do anything with it, maybe you can, because the truck is essentially, maybe not totaled, I'm not an expert on these things, but I'd imagine it's pretty close to being like, this isn't worth my time, because every body panel has damage on it. My father has already done a lot here, but once you rip all this stuff off, we'll go over a full damage report. This truck is actually in amazing shape. Just body work that's screwed up. The only other thing that's like, that kind of deadlines us a little bit is interior. The upholstery on this is all shot up, mostly due to my actions. So if I would have known that this truck was going to be going to my father someday, probably wouldn't have done anything different because it's all for the content. But for the most part, everything on the outside, the bumpers, the fenders, the doors, the rear windshield, everything on the truck is just annihilated with bullet holes or with just the pickaxes that we used and stuff like that. The headlights are all blasted out, and I think we tore off both of the rear tail lights. So there's two things that we can do here. One, we could keep this truck and we could make it into something, well, at the end of the day, it'd still just be a 1500 Silverado, but here, we'll start it up for you. Hopefully it starts. I don't even know if this freaking thing runs anymore. So it's perfect. I mean, this truck literally is perfect in every way other than all of the stuff that's missing on the outside. I understand you guys can take that statement with a grain of salt. It has hood open here because the hood no longer is on the vehicle. So it looks like on the inside here, the steering wheel, I was going to say it took no damage, but I guess somehow this got cracked by some type of shrapnel or something like that. The gauge cluster here, all in perfect condition. Even though this was sprayed with water, still works perfectly. The touchscreen works, and I think volume we can get on here if it isn't copywritten. This should just be talk radio. Oh, we're not going to have any volume because the speakers aren't in the vehicle anymore. So with this 1500, there's two things that we can do here, like I said earlier, and this is that we can make this back into a build, something like Top Line Racer would do, where he takes Whistling Diesel's old truck and turns it into what it used to be. Because at the end of the day, it would just be a 1500 two-wheel drive Silverado. Pretty worthless in my opinion. So our idea was to possibly take everything off of this, take the engine out because it is a 5.3 liter V8 engine, and the transmission, and we have an assortment of things that we can do with it. One, it can go into my 1983 Firebird Trans Am, which if you guys are new to the channel, this has been, this was not a college, but a high school project of mine with my father for my senior project. This is about as far as we got. It was a complete car at one point, and now just a shell. After we took everything out, we're gonna wash the parts, put a new engine in it, stuff like that. So this car needs a lot of work, but a lot of that work would help. It would be easier to see the finish line if we have a brand new, essentially 20,000 mile V8 engine and transmission that could go in this thing. So that, for one, would be step one, would be pretty cool. The other option, which is a little less likely, but probably the second most popular, would be to put the engine inside of the Colorado. It'd be insane, and I think it's been done before. They make kits to like make everything possible, but to take it from a 3.6 liter V6 to a V8, which is what that truck truly deserves, because it has trouble shifting now. The computers aren't really geared right to understand that it has bigger tires on it, more weight, stuff like that. So now that it would have the V8 in it and the V8 transmission, which I think are the same, I don't know anything about new, like brand new transmissions that Chevy makes, but to have all this in this truck, it would just be, it'd be perfect. It'd be like what I wanted in an off-road build and with all the power. It's sort of like the new Jeeps they have now that have the V8 engines in it. Option number 3, which is the most unlikely one to happen here. A lot of you guys have inquired about this, which is my dad's GMC 1500. It has a V6 in it, unfortunately, but it is 4-wheel drive and it's a manual transmission. So the goal here would be to stick the V8 inside of this, and then we'd have a pretty cool V8 build here for my dad. Again, a single cab, but the long bed, or I guess a regular bed, is what's in this. But it would have to lose, most likely, the manual transmission, and we get an automatic transmission in that. Not that that's a plus or a minus, but most likely we take it all out as one piece, and that's what would go inside the truck. Now, this is another thing. My father has a 1968 Camaro RS. He redid this. This was just so cool whenever I was a little kid. I know this is all one shot. You guys probably want to see more with this, but it's already torn apart for the most part. And I want to come back over here to help my dad, and we can sort of tag team this, because this is his project. Going back to the 68 here, what the plan would be to take this and put it inside of here, because that might sound a little bit weird, but it's like a brand new engine that you could have inside of a 1968 Camaro that you know is pretty much never going to fail on you in this foreseeable future. Not because they made it better now, but because, well, you have a V8. That's not that you care about gas mileage, but that's one thing that would be in here. Also, more power for the size of it, because as we all know, like this engine inside of the Sierra, I think is a 4.3 liter, 4.6. I think it's a 4.3 liter V6, and that's a 3.6 liter V6. Obviously, mine makes more power than that because it's newer, everything's more refined, and just technology grows. So that's why one of the advantages of having this new V8, brand new V8, in a 50, 60 plus year old car. One thing, and I always mention this in my videos, but for the newcomers who don't know anything about this, this car was a basket case back in the day. If I can find any pictures of this vehicle when it's all torn apart and just a shell, rusted out, different paint colors. I think it used to be lime green, and then the other parts of it would be like a maroon red on the back fender, the back quarter panels here. And then to see it what it is now, because I would always watch Home Improvement growing up. My father and I, we would watch it way back whenever, I think it was even in prime time, when I was like 5 or 6. I can barely remember it, but I do remember some specific scenes where Tim Allen's character would always be out in the garage working on his car, and it would slowly make progress. And I was like, wow, every dad must do this, because not only did Tim Allen's character do it, but so did my father. It was so cool to see this car go from what it was back then to just this beautiful showpiece now. So we have a plethora of things that we can do with this V8 engine, or we make this into just a really nice, clean, single cab 2021 or 2020, I don't know what year it is, Silverado. Rebuild the 1500, make everything nice and pretty. You can tell that underneath all the panels, there's like no damage. Interior's destroyed, rear windshield, stuff like that. Would it be worth it? Or we stick it in the Colorado, give that thing some V8 power. That'd be a bit of a job, but you know what? It'd be great content in the truck, in the Trans Am, or in the Camaro. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll get right on it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoy this content, make sure you leave a like. I understand this is sort of just like I'm explaining stuff, because there's nothing much I can do. Like the truck's in shambles. I need your guys' advice before I can do anything crazy. But we'll get back with the Camaro content, the Trans Am content, because even if we don't pick one of those vehicles, something's gonna happen with them anyway. I can tell you that right now. Now that I have off work and I'm doing this full time, all I can do is come over to my father's garage and just tinker. And then one day, I'll have my own garage. So thank you guys so much for watching. Say slap in the comments for this poor truck getting slapped a bunch, all the dents. If you made it this far in the video, likes are always appreciated. Again, comment what you guys want to see, and I'll see you guys next video.